Well, the accent is a kind of a hybrid Trinidad British accent, so to speak. Because I grew up in Trinidad. I was born in St. Kitts, Nevis, and I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago. And then I came over to the UK in my late teens for further education, and then I'm still here. And I've been working as an actor in this country ever since. It's a long time now. Well, in the usual way, I auditioned for Rob Marshall. Well, I didn't actually audition for him originally. It's the same way that actors are used to. You go into an audition, they tape you, it goes off, and you never hear again, kind of thing, and you forget about it. And then we went into lockdown. Um, and whilst we were all in lockdown, I got a message asking to send a self tape in. And I think because of COVID and the pandemic, the production had to do a lot of rejigging. And so now they were like, okay, now what do we do with this part? And I had obviously auditioned previously, so they saw me. And then I had this conversation with Rob and John online. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is this an audition? I don't know. Because they kept going, oh, well, then we'll film in Sardinia and we're going to be filming in Pinewood. And I was like, will I be filming in Pinewood? I don't, do you mean? But you don't want to ask too obviously. So yeah, I was really thrilled. I was really thrilled to be part of it. They'd been rehearsing previously before the lockdown, so I was kind of jumping on board a moving vehicle. But they're just expert and everybody expert. Wow, those are a lot of big questions right there. I think when it comes to authenticity, I've been lucky to work in this country and also have the opportunities a few times now to represent. And it's funny how one represents even without being in charge of the content. Like the response to Little Mermaid has been so warm and so supportive from people of the Caribbean and certainly from Trinidadians. And it almost makes me sad that it's had that much of an important effect to simply speak as one speaks. And it makes you realize how little reflection we feel we have. And yet we are a very big, part of that audience, or certainly we are very much influenced by everything that comes to us from the States, from Europe, but particularly from the US. Um, so it's important when we have those opportunities to represent in what ways we can to do so. But at the same time, just being present is often political and is often representation. So content wise, the first thing I did that was representing an actual written as Trinidadian was the Moon on a Rainbow Shawl play by Errol John, which was done at the National Theatre here in Britain, and then went on tour with Talawa Theatre Company. Um, and what was weird for me about that was that I found it very hard to get an audition for it. I would not, they wouldn't see me for it for a long time. And I'm not sure why, because basically the way that Errol John describes the character was basically me, looked like and was me. So I think, I don't know, I think when they finally have our representations in these different forums, then there's often an agenda with how they want us to be represented, that fits in with a story and a narrative that they tell. So yeah, it's really hard to then try and take that from within and mold it and all of that. When I was on Casualty many years ago, and I was playing my character as kind of like someone like me that was Trinidadian but had been in the country for a long time. And there was a good response, but that was before the whole kind of social networking and internet. And what would happen is that in those days, people would write in to the TV channels with responses and what have you. But often it was not black people writing in, so the programmers, the broadcasters, were not getting any kind of feel about what response these black characters were having. And so I think it is really important to write, and all the lovely stuff that Trinis have been doing, that Caribbean people have been doing. I think it's really important to sort of put appreciation for what you like out there, as well as probably what you don't like and why you don't like it. Our opinions now have a way of being shared, which is of course the internet, which is of course a lot of vlogs, video vlogging, and personal reviews and things like that. So it's important to speak up, whatever your view. And often you can give a critique. If it's a helpful critique, then I think you can give that. I am not afraid of, for the productions that I'm in, to be critiqued, because sometimes those people are saying things I don't have the courage to say because I'm in it. So yeah, go ahead, speak up, speak out, speak loud.